Hello everyone, welcome back to Forza Horizon 5 with another Group A rally build. We are not using the Ferrari FX6 Evo, that is way too fast for this challenge, it's way too high PI. Instead, we're going to be letting the gods decide our fate with the Wheelspin system. We haven't done this in a very long time. Let's let fate decide what we get. We're not going to use super wheel spins because that gives you multiple vehicles potentially, so we're going to go, no, is it? Yeah, it is festival playlist, that works. We want wheel spin. First car we get that actually meets the requirements. So we'll just, I can only buy one? What? Hold up. Alright, there we go. Luckily we got on the first shot. And that's a good car. I like that car. That's a good car, actually. That's a really good one. Okay. Very lucky that worked first try. I thought you could buy a lot of those. You used to be able to buy a lot of those. Can you not do that anymore? I don't know. I thought you could. Doesn't matter, though, because we got ourselves a Corvette. So, this is interesting. It has a lot of potential. It's low A-class, so I'll have a bit of room to play about, but not a whole lot. It does have kind of pop-up headlights. It sort of flashed me a little bit there at the beginning, but okay. We're going to want this. Yes, we're going to want these semi-slick tires. So, we don't have much PI to play with. We do have, holy crap, massive front tires. 295s up front, 345s at the rear. Yeah, we want that. Sometimes it's good to keep the stock tire widths on the rear. But they're only 295s, so we're gonna put that on. And we just go through all this. Now this is where it gets tricky. Do we go weight reduction and get it down to 3,000 pounds and just leave it at 400 horsepower? Or do we get other things? I think we get other things. It's already pretty light, to be honest. We'll put a sport clutch in. Actually, no, we'll put a sport gearbox. Yeah, we'll do that. Then raise stiff, because why not? We'll leave the clutch as the same. We aren't going to have an issue with PI, so let's go with that. Sure, we can shave a bunch of weight and get a little more power, and then it's pretty much just this. Can we sneak anything else on? No. No. And no. Alright. 430 horsepower, 425 torque, 24 torque, 3,100 pounds. Not great stats, however, I'm hoping it has some solid handling to go with it. Alrighty, our Corvette Wheelspin build has to beat a 242.6 if I remember correctly. I would give you an exact number, but my computer decided to die right now and I'm already in the middle of recording, so bugger it! I'm not going to wait a few hours while it charges or go find a charging cable. So it's about 242.6. I believe that was the Corvette Super B. So a bit of an American showdown, I guess. Okay, I could really use bigger tires. But it doesn't seem too terrible. It has lots of grip on the rear. Those 3, 4, 5s working wonders. You can see full throttle on that corner with 430 horsepower, no issues. I'm hoping this will be like the Lotus. A little too much speed into there. I had to try it. Eventually it'll be a car where I can just coast through the whole thing and not have to brake. That's going to happen at some point, and it will be glorious when it happens. It's not this car, though. It's not this car. Someday. But not this one. I'm hoping this will be like the Lotus, in that it's very agile, and then it has a little bit of power to back it up. I'm not so sure. We'll see. The Lotus got helped out massively in the fact that it's incredibly light. It's, what, 600 pounds lighter than this? 500 pounds lighter? And it's mid-engined, and it's a Lotus, so it's got great chassis design. This is a Corvette from the early 2000s, which means, yes, the chassis is great for 2002. Now, that's why you put the roll cage in it to strengthen things up, but still, you're dealing with a 2002 chassis here. Again, the nice thing, the reason why I wasn't too unhappy, the reason why I was pretty good with this car, getting chosen by the gods, is because I quite like this car to build in Forza. It's a solid A-class, low S1 class build, if you're doing those sort of things. And it's just so predictable. That's what I love about it so much. It's just so predictable. First time going through that section, no fear. I just did a little dab with the brakes before the jump, landed perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. Carried 80 miles an hour through there, perfectly fine. I wouldn't want to carry much more speed through there, but it didn't have an issue with it. I will say the brakes are not as great as the Lotus, which is to be expected, but still I was hoping for a little better. And the turn is not quite as good as I was hoping with 295s up front and the Forza Aero. But still, we're on for a pretty okay first attempt. So we definitely have some room for improvement, definitely have a lot of speed to gain. 247 is slower than I thought for not having any major mistakes. It's the first run. We just gotta be braver. So that's a lot of time to shave off, 4.5 seconds. We've done multiple second shave-offs before, so it's not impossible to shave off multiple seconds, but we also didn't make any mistakes on that run per se. We had one off on the corner over there, that never-ending left-hander. But other than that, it wasn't really a mistake frequent run, for lack of a better word. Okay, so I just gotta be braver. Just gotta be braver, earlier on the throttle, later on the brakes, sharper on the turn-in, etc., etc. Luckily, again, as I said, this is a very predictable vehicle, so we aren't gonna have twitchiness or anything crazy. It's just a matter of, is it good enough? We're leaving in third, get on the brakes, and then power through. There we go. Brake earlier, you probably brake a little less than we did there, but honestly, I'm just trying to get a clean run here with some decent push. So anything smooth will count, pretty much. I'm not going to be too upset about that. Carry the speed, nicely done through there, 105. I can probably carry a little more speed if I brake, or if I turn in just a fraction bit earlier, get two wheels on the grass. If I do that, a little bit upset over the crest. Really shows just how grippy this vehicle is, and even after being upset over the crest, it automatically finds traction again, so well played to the vet. Oh, I was trying to be smooth, and I didn't turn in enough. It's fine, it was just a slight tap. Dirty laps will count, because walls are annoying, even if you don't really hit them like that. That didn't cost us any time, it didn't gain us any time, but it red flags it, so we just don't factor in unverified laps, essentially. Yeah. Alright, this is a better run, this is a better... this feels better to Sash. It feels like a better... better time. We are definitely closer to our target, but we're still behind it. We're still behind it. So, I'm not sure this is gonna beat the Dodge, or beat the Lotus. I was just a fraction bit wide there. I couldn't quite turn in when I wanted to. Come on. Alright. On the power, nice and easily. It's a better run. It's definitely faster. But it is not quick enough. We haven't really been seeing this too much, but I think this is what's called a car of averages. And I'm going to explain that in more detail on my final run. But, oh, lots of brakes up. Yep, okay. Alright, just to reaffirm that our time was terrible, lots of brakes on the final corner. Yeah. Definitely an averages car. And that's not a good thing. At all. I know what you're thinking. What is an averages car? It's where every single stat of the vehicle, acceleration, braking, traction, downforce, etc., is okay. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's average. And when you have every single category being average, it means your car is going to be average and you're not going to be particularly quick. You won't be last, because this is better than the Auto Union, by far. But it's also way slower than the... I want third there. Definitely want third there. I don't like this vehicle. So it's definitely off the pace of the Coronet, of the Lotus, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And that's why it's really annoying, because it feels fast, it feels grippy, it feels controlled, and then you actually get to the time and you're going, oh, I must have had a terrible accident or something, because that time makes no sense. But it does, because the car is just kind of meh. And it means you're losing time not in a single sector or a single zone, but just a tenth of a second across the entire board. And that really hurts. That really hurts. Losing a tenth of a second across every mile of this road. Yeah. Oh, okay. I had a twitch. I was trying not to get oversteer, and I understeered into the wall. Because I wasn't paying attention, I was explaining the law of automotive inadequacy. Luckily, it wasn't a huge hit. It was a slow speed section for a slow speed crash. But, yeah. Not my finest bit of driving, especially on a car this controllable. I was trying to be sneaky. Trying being the key word, and instead I just looked like a fool who couldn't turn. But it's fine. You see how much I'm pushing, trying to get every ounce of tarmac, every ounce of speed out of this car, and it's not really doing too hot. It's not really doing too hot at all. Whoa. Locked up the brakes there on the landing because I hit the brake pedal in the air, and that means the wheels weren't spinning when they hit the ground. Nearly had a big accident there, nearly cost us a heap of time, but we are once again okay. You see, all of these silly little errors are popping up, not because the car is particularly bad, but because it's so average. I have to push so hard in order to get any significant results out of it, and when you push so hard, you make mistakes. So yeah, very underwhelming vehicle, this Corvette, which is a shame. When I saw it on the Wheelspin, I had some high hopes, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I would do pretty well, certainly a podium. But, yeah, this is definitely not a podium car, we'll put it that way. Definitely not a podium. How was that lap slower than the one where I hit the wall? I mean, I hit the wall on that one, but how was that slower than the second run? That's bad. That's really bad. That's 2:45 is the best time then. How? How? It's just, Yeah, that's really bad. I guess it's just all those little errors that popped in, because the car's already losing time in every sector, so when you lock up the brakes on the really technical canyon section, when you run just that little bit wide, or you countersteer a little bit too early, it can just devastate your run. Realistically, I don't think this car is even beating the Hoonigan. Even with the lockup, even without the lockup, I should say, on the second run, it wasn't going to beat the Cosworth. So, just kind of a meh car. Really? Way down the order, not exactly fantastic. Closer to the Auto Union than I would particularly like. And yeah, that'll be it for this episode of Forza Horizon 5. I'll be back with more.